What do you want to do?
I don't know. We don't have an intro. Welcome, everyone. This is the Glaziar Gamble podcast. Mychal Glaziar is me. Joe Rybolt is him.
Telling him now?
We're telling him this time. Last time we lost a subscriber or two, so we don't want to.
Jeez.
I know. Welcome to the podcast. This is our sports section. We have two sections, sports and then like an entertainment / Marvel section, which is like movies and that sort of thing. This one we have actually a good amount. Last week we kind of had to wing the whole thing. Wasn't a lot of storylines, but this time around we got baseball news with Franco. We got the NBA with Anthony Edwards being the best player in history. We got Lebron and Isaiah Stewart and their scuffle and that fight. And
the whole Utah thing with LeBron too.
Yeah. And he just got fined $15,000 from his Indiana game.
Yeah.
And we also got some NFL news. Unfortunately, Tre'Davious White, one of the most underrated players in the NFL, tore his ACL. And then we got some Denver Broncos news with their wide receivers. We've got a lot of Vikings stuff we can talk about. And then we got a few matchups we're going to cover, which is the Bucks, Colts, Titans, Patriots, Rams, and Packers. And then based on a request from a fan / viewer / dear friend, we were asked to do the Pro Bowl, what we would pick for our Pro Bowl matchups. So we're actually going to do the offense only this time around. If you enjoy it, we'll do defense next time. If you don't enjoy it, then we know not to do defense.
We should just do defense anyway, just to feel a completionist.
Sure. And we're only going to do starters, no backups. Anyway, there's our little rundown. So now you know what we're going to go through. We're going to jump right into it with some baseball news, which was the Franco. 12 years, $185 million guaranteed with $223 million.
Now, I've seen some 10-year deals in MLB, but 12 is, I feel like I haven't seen that number before.
Did Mookie get 10 or 12? Mookie signed a 12-year.
Okay, so maybe I have seen it before, but that's a long time.
Mookie got 12.
But then again, Ichiro played till he was 45, so.
And now I believe this guy is going to be signed until he's 38. Something like that.
Why not?
So every time the NBA signs, like they're all doing their contracts, for agency happens, that sort of thing. NFL players are always like, oh, I chose the wrong sport. I should have been an NBA. Their contracts are so. Why don't they talk about baseball? Baseball contracts are insane.
Oh, yeah. They're absurd.
Not only are they majority fully guaranteed. Yeah, Mike Trout
got a massive deal, but again, he's like the best player in the MLB. So.
And that's the thing is like the top 5% of baseball players, those are the ones that make the ungodly amounts of money.
Right, the Mike Trout, the Bryce Harpers,
But even the low-level guys make basically fully guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And no matter what, if you're cut, if you're traded, whatever, like the team has to pay you the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if the NFL guys should do something, like, I don't know, the money goes up for them every year, but I wouldn't be surprised if NFL guys get more sponsorships, though.
Right. And the top-end NFL guys, the top-end NFL quarterbacks, if you want to compare them with
$500 million deals.
Pat Mahomes, if you're in a rare breed. But, didn't Josh Allen get
just got a 6-year?
Yeah, something like that. So
Josh Allen's 6-year, 258.
Yeah, so he's roughly 40 something. So
yeah, it'll be north of 40 million after 2 years from now.
So
I believe the next 2 years he's still under 40, and then after that it's above 40 million a year.
So the top end guys in every sport are going to look absurd compared to the rest of the league, but baseball, you always see these giant number ones.
It's huge.
So
huge. Which to me is surprising because I keep saying that the viewership keeps going down and people are less and less interested in baseball, but these guys are still getting paid.
Yeah.
Get your kid into baseball if you want your kid to be a pro athlete. Not only are they going to make good money, but it's probably one of the safer
they get
sports.
drafted out of high school. Yeah. Right? They straight out of high school. It's like
drafted as a junior in high school and then they play 3 years later.
Yeah. I don't know.
I should have stuck with baseball, man. I ended my baseball career at a 500 batting average.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Batting was fun.
I did nets and rackets senior year, and I got we played softball, and I hit 3 singles straight up the middle. Just 1, 2.
That's perfectly timed. If it goes straight up the middle, it means you timed it.
So I ended my.
You want to pull it if you can. Swing slightly early, because if you swing slightly early, it gets more power with a pull.
I just right up the middle.
Yeah.
Just single. So I was 3 for 3 with 3 singles. So
batting was fun. I at one point it was the state all-star game. I had the record for inside home runs with 3 in one tournament.
Inside the park home runs?
Yeah, I had 3 inside the park home runs in 2 days.
You're fast, so.
It was ridiculous. I loved baseball. It was just so boring. That was the only reason why I switched to track. Just as boring.
I mean, our senior year of track, we've got some stories there. You two are done with your jumping.
You already
stuff?
did all 6 sets of your reps? Yeah. Just run straight. All right, we need to run 100 meters down and back, or 100 yards down and back. Yeah, we will. And just run straight out the fence.
All right. You guys are going to the swim to do the swim stuff, right? Yeah, we got to go get our suits.
Yeah, and then we'd grab all of our backpack and everything and go to your house and play League.
Exactly. Hell yeah. The days.
Oh yeah. But there was a sport both you and I played that we actually liked doing, which is basketball. So we're going to jump into basketball, which is much more entertaining. The first thing I'd like to talk about is Anthony Edwards is the best NBA player. So the Twins have Hero Kaprizov, better than Gretzky.
Twins do?
Yeah. The Minnesota Wild have Joe Ryan, the best pitcher in history. And now the Vikings have Anthony Edwards. Yeah. So
last night they played, or 2 nights ago, they played the Heat.
Yep.
It was nice to it's Jimmy, right?
Oh yeah.
Everyone.
I believe he started out 0-5.
Yeah, he didn't have that good of a game, but Anthony Edwards had a really good game.
Started out slightly rough.
Yeah. But there's an offensive foul or a bad screen call or something, and so headed down the other way. Anthony Edwards is still holding the ball, like, damn it, like there's an offensive call, whatever. And Jimmy comes up, tries to grab the ball or whatever, get it out of his hands, and so Ant gives him a little like nudge like that, and Jimmy like drops the ball and gets right in his face, and the look on Ant's face is like,
right, like, come on, man.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that image was going around Twitter, so I saved it.
Fuck around and find out.
Jimmy tries to be an enforcer, and he's just not.
Yeah.
He's just not. So Stephen A. Smith with LeBron James. LeBron James had that whole situation with Isaiah Stewart that just happened.
Right.
Where LeBron got mad that they got tangled up and smacked him in the face.
Yeah, elbowed him right in the... Yep.
Causing his mouth and eye to bleed. And then Stephen A. Smith said that nobody fears LeBron. That, like, you're not scared of LeBron. I feel like that's more... Like, if you wanted to say that about Jimmy Butler, like, I wonder... how many guys would actually be when Jimmy Butler comes, like Anthony Edwards.
Do they mean this from like a physicality, like I don't want to get in the scuffle with him, or do they mean like take over the game?
That's where the confusion came with JJ Redick and Stephen A. Smith, is because Stephen A. Smith was saying in a fight, like, if LeBron gets in your face, nobody thinks he's actually going to fight you. When JJ Redick was saying that everybody was scared of LeBron on the court. And then when JJ said, you mean in a physical altercation, and Stephen A. Smith was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. And then JJ Redick was like, okay, well, if you mean on the court, everyone feared LeBron.
Yeah.
And so, like, Stephen A. Smith didn't really know what he was saying, in my opinion. But, like, when I think of Jimmy Butler, because I've seen this happen 100 times where Jimmy tries to, like, get in somebody's face.
Right.
And I don't think I've ever seen it where the other person backs down.
Yeah,
because like Antonio McDyess got in Kevin Garnett's face. Kevin Garnett ran. Kevin Garnett, in my opinion, was a tough player.
Tough dude,
but when Antonio McDyess got into his face, he was out.
Yeah,
I don't see other guys.
Yeah, and I mean, and so in regards to like both the things, like the physical altercations and then like taking over the game, like I was only afraid of Jimmy Butler taking over the game when he was a Timberwolf.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the
Or
only
the Bulls, or Bulls.
Yeah, Bulls. I mean, okay, but like there was one time where we went into overtime and Jimmy Butler scored 14 straight points and he assisted on the other 2. We had 16 points in overtime, and Jimmy Butler accounted for all of them. So that's the last time I was afraid of Jimmy Butler on the court.
Agreed. And he also last year, 2020, had the biggest meltdown in postseason history that I've seen.
Yeah. So
not scoring double digits in an entire series and getting swept. Yeah. After they were just saying that you're one of the top 5 players in the league because of what you had done the previous postseason.
And Ant doesn't. I guess when the lights on, Anthony Edwards doesn't really like. He's not afraid of it. He's not afraid of the lights.
Every day is another game. I can't wait till we play in New York.
Yeah.
I want to see what he does at MSG. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey now, Alexei Shved tore it up at MSG too. So.
Well, Alexei Shved was just ahead of his time. He was so bad. But yeah, so we kind of tied in 2 of our topics together there. But Ant, incredible player.
It's something only 4 people have done. It was like 30, 10, and 5 game, I think, right? A 30, 10, and 5 game before they're 21. Yep. Like LeBron, KD, and Luka. So another feat that Anthony Edwards.
And he was the youngest player to do it because he did it when he was a younger age than Luka. Looks good to me. But yeah, back to the LeBron thing, the whole Isaiah Stewart, LeBron fiasco. They play again soon. They play each other again soon. Oh, yeah. I don't think anything's going to come of it.
Yeah.
So Isaiah Stewart probably is going to be pissed about it, but the refs are also going to say a slap on the wrist is going to become a foul. And a hip check is going to become a technical in that game. Like the refs are going to make sure that nothing happens because the NBA was so mad about what happened.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of technical, that's what happened when the Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, little nudge, get in each other's face thing. It was just a double tech.
Yeah. Yep.
So and Anthony Edwards was like, whatever. And Jimmy Butler was like, what?
That sounds about right.
Anthony Edwards is like, who cares?
I feel like it's not apathy. It's not apathy, but Anthony Edwards, just every moment is just the same. Yeah. Every if you put him into an NFL game, he'd treat it like it was just I'm just playing sports. Right. But if you were to put him in, I'm excited to see if the Wolves make the playoffs because I want to see if he changes or if he's just like, oh yep, it's just another game. He got
that killer mode.
Right. It's just another game. Every game, I play this when he dunks, it's vicious every time. Yeah. When he shoots the ball, he thinks it's going in every time.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the that dunk that was
considered called a charge.
Yeah, was not.
No, the guy did a really good job of getting a square base, and so Ant's lower body had barely touched him, and the dude's flying backwards already.
They did a frame by frame thing, and the defender has to be set before the guy was in the air, and Anthony Edwards has both feet off the ground, and the guy's legs are like this, like back.
In real time, not frame by frame. In real time, it looked like it could go either way.
Yeah.
In my opinion, so for those of you who don't know, I used to referee varsity sports. That was the highest I ever got. But as a ref, I would have called that a block. I would have 100% called that a block.
Sure.
And he was so close to the restricted area. If anything, that I would have 100% would have been a block.
And Anthony Edwards would have had another dunk of the year.
He already did. We're gonna count that as dunk of the year anyway.
Yeah.
I don't care if it doesn't count. Twitter's the only people that don't care if it counts.
That was pretty nasty.
Yeah. He just everything he does is with 100%.
Yeah.
He's Russell Westbrook level energy with much better shooting skills, and he's controlled. Russell Westbrook skills. Energy, but he can control it. Yeah.
Better social skills.
I like Russ so much.
Better team skills.
Yeah. I feel like Russ would be one of those guys that is fun to play with for a little bit.
Yeah.
But the guy you definitely don't want on your team in a 3-on-3 with your friends.
Yeah, you wouldn't get any shots.
No. So. But yeah, I wanted to bring up the Isaiah Stewart LeBron thing because that was just insane. LeBron
yeah. Okay, keep going. You're gonna say what I was gonna say. So
No, I think you're gonna say something else. LeBron got fined $15,000 for doing the Sam Cassel nut grab.
the big balls.
Yeah, he did the big ball celebration after draining a game tying or game sealing 3.
I'm fine.
Big balls.
I'm fine with that.
I'm do it if you
Sam
if you
Cassel
don't want
did
him,
it. Big
if
balls.
you don't want them to talk smack or do something like that, stop them. There was something in the NFL that happened this year where they said the same thing. It was like you're running up the score. You tried to score at the end of the game. Stop them. Stop. They're not. They're. If you don't want them doing that, just stop them. I mean, when Juju Smith-Schuster danced on their logo, the Jesse Bates basically took 5 years off of his life on that first hit.
Yeah.
They just smacked him all game. The Bengals knew what to do when somebody disrespected you. They did what you need to do.
Yeah, sure.
What was the other LeBron thing you were gonna say?
I was gonna say that he got 2 fans kicked out, 2 courtside fans kicked out of the game. Yeah, these ones here. It's meme worthy. It's a meme worthy thing.
Yeah, too. I saw the memes about it. I loved them. I was going through like, yeah, I like that. That's funny.
Yeah, they were good.
It was. I mean, apparently the guy had told LeBron he hopes his oldest son dies. So, in case anybody was wondering, like, oh, LeBron's such a sissy, because I know LeBron's hated so much. Oh, the crybaby, whatever. They make fun of his name or whatever, change his name. Yeah, that guy said that he hopes his oldest son dies. So, I hope that guy's never allowed back into any single NBA stadium again. I don't care I don't care what player it is. If it's LeBron or if it's, the 15th man on the Sacramento Kings. I can't, I don't know how you go to a game. I guarantee that guy wasn't drunk. Just that sports atmosphere gets people so much worse than they need to be. But yeah, so I'm glad that guy got kicked out. Very meme-worthy.
Yeah. As far as the the hate speech in regards to sporting events, the most I've done is boo, you suck. You know what I mean? Boo, you suck.
I think I've yelled, get him out of here. That's probably the worst I've gone.
Rodgers, you little bitch.
My parents have season tickets to the Vikings games, and those seats are really close.
Yeah.
Close enough where I think if you yell loud enough, players can hear you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've never yelled anything, but I've heard some things said that, there's been a lot of women that turn, like, oh my God, stop, don't say that, get out. Yeah, there's been a lot of that, especially when you get the Bears coming to town. That's why I like the Lions so much. When their fans come, it doesn't really get that way. But when the Bears and Packers come in, it's
the Lions, they'll take any positive and they'll just run with it. Yes, we stopped them on 3rd down.
Well, yes! I feel like Lions fans, Vikings score a touchdown, and the Lions fans that are at the Vikings game are like, you know what, that was a good play. That was pretty solid. I hope we can score next time like that.
I hope we can score this game.
I hope we can score a touchdown this game. That'd be sweet. Maybe this season. That'd be awesome. What are wins like?
I can't believe they got rid of Marvin Jones. Because at least with Marvin Jones, you have a chance to win 2 games.
Right. Marvin Jones always scores a touchdown on the Vikings. Every time.
He actually scores 2.
Yeah. It's just insane. He's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Should have kept him.
They should.
That's all we got for NBA, though. Everything else is just matchups and rumors. We don't want to feed
Wolves are getting kind of blown out right now, but I bet they're saving their energy because they got Philly tomorrow on us.
Which is disappointing because this would have been the first time they won 6 games in a row since 2004.
Yeah. Yeah, but they also have Philadelphia tomorrow.
Still, it would be going to Philadelphia with some momentum.
Yeah.
It would be obviously a win is always better than a loss, but I would have loved to see them do something that hasn't been done in 17 years. Maybe go 7 in a row, which I'm sure is even further back than that.
Right.
It would be nice because especially after going on that huge loss streak, we need to make up games.
Yeah.
Let's try to catch Phoenix's win streak.
We should have beat Phoenix. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, agreed.
We lost to Phoenix by 3, so
sounds like a Vikings game.
Does.
Speaking of the Vikings, let's jump into the Niffle. football has
Niflheim.
happened, and I mentioned this. So I've talked about this before. I usually like teams. I base how much I like a team based on how their fans interact on Twitter and in person, more how they act in person. You know, being as in a family where my parents do have those season Viking tickets, I've been able to see a lot of different teams and see how a lot of different fans act when they're at an away game. Kind of helps me determine whether or not I like the team. The Buffalo Bills, it's kind of hit or miss. The fans are either, you know, Philadelphia level or they're Lions level. They range so much. So I tend to like some of the Bills players. I really love the Bills alternate red uniforms. Sick. Tre'Davious White's one of those guys. I love Tre'Davious White. I think
for sure.
So underrated. If I was a Madden ratings guy, 95 would be his bad day. He's Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander level lockdown, so good. And so he tore his ACL, and I am so sad about it because he's already underrated. Right. And now he has to come back from an ACL injury, and people are going to judge him like, oh, he's not playing well. Oh yeah, well, you know, his ligament, one of the primary 3 ligaments in his knee tore, and he has to play a position in which they're constantly crouched on their knees and have to turn sharp angles and run at high speeds. Right. Oh, but you know, I feel so bad because I can't imagine, like people always say ACL tear must be the hardest for running backs. It's gotta be D-backs. Right. It's got, like, you're constantly crouch, running, back pedal, turn, back pedal, hip turn, back
sprint.
The
side to sides. See, I think it's more with the corners, or the D-backs. It's more the side-to-side movement. That's tough because you have to be explosive side to side. Whereas the running backs, they're just making just the sharpest turn, and they're putting all of their power into that sharp turn.
A lot of running backs don't emphasize jump cuts, and the jump cuts is where the ACL tear seems to affect the most, which is why it was so impressive when Adrian Peterson came back from it, because his primary cut is the jump cut. Yeah. Marshawn Lynch did a really good jump cut too. It's just he preferred running people over.
Yeah, and Trent Richardson just went right into the...
If Trent Richardson developed a jump cut, we know at least one play where he would have gotten a touchdown. I had him his rookie year. That was all that mattered. But yeah, there's some good. Todd Gurley, another one. Before he got his ACL, his jump cut was lethal. Nick Chubb, lethal jump cut. Kareem Hunt, both of those guys. But anyway, Tre'Davious White, I feel really bad. Not a Bills fan, however, would rather watch the Bills with Tre'Davious White than without him.
Right. I think the Bills fans just kind of got lucky in regards to their come up was at the same time that Tom Brady got out of there. Yeah. So I think a lot of their mentality is like, we're the best.
Now they have a better quarterback to worry about, though. Now they have somebody better than Tom Brady on the Patriots that they have to deal with. And when he comes back, they have to deal with Mike White.
True. So
just saying. And next year, they're going to have to deal with whoever the Dolphins draft at quarterback.
Yeah. Or trade for.
And then the year after that, they're going to have to deal with whoever the Dolphins draft at quarterback. I just don't see anybody game changing for the NFL draft. Anyway, I won't do draft talk. Nobody likes draft talk. Let's move on to a different position, opposite of corners, wide receiver. The guys that go up against them. Denver Broncos. So before the season started, I mentioned I think KJ Hamler is going to have a great year. And you were like, you know, honestly, they have the other guy. And we tried to figure out, couldn't remember them. Tim Patrick. You that said Tim Patrick was going to have a good year. And I was like, I don't know, KJ Hamler. Well, Tim Patrick's having a nutty year, right alongside Courtland Sutton. Both of them just got big extensions. Happy for them both, and well deserved. They just need a guy to get them the ball now.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider any of their wide receivers really like
true number ones.
True number ones. Yeah. You know, like
Courtland Sutton says he's heard that a lot.
Courtland Sutton's great, but like he needs 10 targets for you to see his numbers. Like usually he gets 10 targets, it's like 6 catches and a touchdown or something like that. But
he'd be really good on an offense like the Saints.
Yeah, he would be really good on the Saints offense. But like they got to give Judy touches, they got to give Tim Patrick touches, they got to give
Noah Fant
touches.
They have 2 good running backs that also like to catch out of the backfield.
Yeah, so
they just got to finalize that offensive line, get into an easier division, and they'll be really good.
Yeah. I mean, they're not bad. It's just they do need someone that can throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah. They need somebody that can whip it in Denver.
Yeah.
If they had a Josh Allen type, it probably would be better. But even then, I don't know if Josh Allen's the type of guy that they would want either. It's very hard. Maybe there's one of these guys coming out in a few years or this year that's good. Like maybe if they could get a Bryce Young from Alabama, maybe they could get one of these guys coming out. But
Kirk Cousins would be great for them. That'd be a really good
Kirk
fit.
Cousins would have been a great fit for them.
But
maybe they can get Mike White.
I mean, I don't know if they've got the capital.
Trade for Zach Wilson since the Jets have their franchise guy. I'm all for it. I mean, Drew Lock, they're used to people throwing nonstop picks with Lock, so just try Zach Wilson out.
I mean, there's only one person that can throw more picks than that. That's Davis Mills. So
yeah, it's either Davis Mills, Drew Lock, Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones. Just got the pick machines. Patrick Mahomes in the first 3 games this year. We have a few more NFL topics after this, and we will be back with you after a break from our sponsor. Do you like video games? Do you watch YouTube? Well, then check out Glaziar Gaming.
That was just to prevent them from jumping on us, but we're fine.
All right, Ken's behind. Coming up behind him, though. I'm gonna pop.
Nice find.
Now let's get these inhibs.
Yeah, it's game. Easy. So let's move on to our final football topics. First, we're getting real heavy with you because we are Vikings fans. Everson Griffen, he in the past, I believe it was the year before he was cut by the Vikings, had that incident at the hotel where it was something that happened in the lobby with, he would kind of lost his cool, screaming, yelling, and then they couldn't get him out of his room, something like that. And just recently, he had posted on his Instagram story with a gun saying that somebody was in his apartment, and he had said that he claimed to have opened fire, and he was reaching out to players like Dalvin Cook, asking for them to call 911 and help him. And when 911 did actually show up at his apartment, they said there was no sign of any sort of invasion, that he did have a weapon, but he was refusing to come out. And it's more.
He eventually, inevitably came out and left with no incident or anything. But
nothing happened. He just left with them, and sounds like it was another. We aren't sure if there was any. I'm not sure if there's any drugs involved, but sounds like it was a mental breakdown of some sort. I talked about it. There was a lot of people that were really negative towards Everson Griffen, especially on Twitter. I think those people are awful. I don't care. Even if he was high and drunk all at the same time, which I don't know if that's the case or not. Like, I don't care what it was. Like, it's clear that something's not okay. And when people aren't okay, the thing that they need is support. They don't need something further to make it worse.
Right.
So, like, what I said about it was that football is probably his biggest sense of relief for mental state, but it's probably also one of the biggest stressors. So it's really hard, and like the best thing that I could probably hope for him would be that the people that play football with him, that give him that mental ease, reach out to him outside of football instead. And maybe what's best for him is to step away from football, but the people that make him feel better in football, like the locker room guys, spend some time with him, just hang out. Just like, I'm not sure what else. I'm not a medical expert. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I don't know. To me, from an outsider standpoint, it just seems like he needs more people in his life that are willing to be with him, talk to him. And if those guys are the ones that he meets in football, maybe that's why he stays with football, even though he knows football's hurting him, is because he tries to be around those people. But
yeah, I think we've mentioned plenty of times, if you need help or somebody that needs help, please reach out to them, reach out to somebody that can help you. I'm thankful that he did reach out to either Dalvin or whoever else he reached out to, just because I don't want anything to happen to him. So
really, the best thing that you can really do, we've talked about this before, it's just that, how's it going? And honestly, the best thing that can help people is just support. It doesn't need money, isn't always the best option. Medicine, pills aren't always the best thing. Sometimes all people need to say hello. I'm not sure what Everson needs, but whatever it is, he was moved to the reserve list, which means I believe the maximum amount of games, or minimum amount of games he could miss is 3. I don't see him coming back this season. Last time the hotel happened, I think he missed a couple games and came back. I don't think that's going to happen this time. Yeah, I just hope he finds the help he needs.
In light of that, the Vikings did make a move. They signed Tashaun Bauer, who has been with the Vikings before. Yep. He had a lot of promise when he was here.
I like Tashaun Bauer. He's a new age D end guy.
Yeah,
more of a linebacker, in my opinion.
And
he's one of those guys. He's too slow to be a linebacker, but he's too small to be a lineman.
He reminds me a lot of DJ Wanham. How like he in brief like lapses, you've seen like really good plays from them. Yep. And like when Tashaun Bauer was there, he kind of was the big name coming out of preseason.
Yep.
Like this new age guy. But
we've had a couple guys like that. Like we got DJ Wanham, Tashaun Bauer, Kentrell Brothers was that way.
Kenny Willekes has done really well since he's gotten here. So,
and yeah, Tashaun Bauer reminds me of Kentrell Brothers. Like there's no natural position for them on defense. You know they can be good, but like there's just hard to find a spot for them.
Yeah.
You either need the right coach or the right system, or maybe this type of football is not really designed for them.
Right.
Tashaun Bauer is one of those guys. Like I hope we find a good spot for him, especially we're filling big shoes. But yeah, I like Tashaun Bauer a lot. So if that's what it took to have him join the team, maybe this is his breakout. Maybe he'll step up. Speaking of the Vikings, let's just stick with them. We're going to do some matchups like we do every week. We're going to start with the Vikings versus the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure. I didn't look at all the who's favored this week. So let's look at that.
I would imagine it's the Niners since it's in San Francisco.
They're favored by 3. So they have the traditional 3-point home favorite. So if it was at the Vikings, they'd probably be a pick 'em. Pretty cool. Afternoon game. And
is it a 3:45?
Yep. And
3:25, sorry.
My only thing is that the Vikings don't tend to travel to the West Coast all that well.
The one thing that I was listening to the radio show one of these mornings, Wednesday maybe. It wasn't today. Wednesday, and they were talking about how there's so much pre-snap movement with it that the Niners do, and we saw this in not the championship game.
It was the division game.
Before
they did the exact same thing to the Packers.
Yeah, only worse.
Yeah,
only worse. So yeah,
they destroyed us
so much.
Either way,
there's so much pre-snap movement that it's very, very deceiving to what like the defenses are used to or used to seeing. They do a lot of that with Deebo Samuel. Now they've kind of expanded what he can do, and I know you're smiling over there because you drafted him in fantasy.
Well, I've liked Deebo for a few years now, and I also like Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah,
I thought Brandon Ayuk was gonna. I thought like Brandon Ayuk's good, but I thought he was gonna be even better than he is now.
Yeah, well, Deebo used to just be like the slant guy. Like he used to just be like we're gonna throw it to a slant, or we're gonna throw it up for him, and he's just gonna go.
Yeah, it's up to him to make the play after.
Yeah, and now
he's getting 6
kind
carries a game.
Yeah, 8 last game, I believe. So yeah, so that's gonna be a big matchup. Big matchup to watch there. He's not as good of a route runner as say like Justin Jefferson, but he does so many things well, including I don't know if he still is, but he was at one point after like 9 games or 7 games or something, he was a league leader in yak. So once he gets the ball in his hands, he's dangerous.
Yeah. And the Vikings have momentum, and they do tend to play the Niners really well outside of that playoff game when they play in the regular season. At least in the past 5 years or so, they do really well against the Niners. My only thing is like their linebackers when they blitz is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Our offensive line is still not great. They're not playing as poorly as they were in the beginning, but like Fred Warner, Bosa, I don't know if Bosa's even healthy or there. But they're just so good. They're just so fast and they blitz so well.
Yeah, and they always, they sometimes, very occasionally, will chop block our tackles when they're not looking. So you gotta watch out for that too.
Do have to look out for that. But yeah, I'm interested to see how the matchup goes because these two teams are both like really, really interesting. I think the Vikings are better, but the matchups where the Niners are their best is where the Vikings have their weak points. Like the Niners are their best with a very versatile wide receiver who can play in the backfield and do a whole bunch of things. The Vikings at their worst is scheming again, they have a very old mindset defense where the defense revolves around the two middle linebackers and safety. And our corners are a little weak as well. So Debo is their strong point on offense, and then the defense, their linebackers, and our weak point on offense is our linemen against the blitz. Outside of Brian O'Neill, I think it really could go either way. I think 3 points for the Niners is fair, but I would run with the momentum. I think Vikings pull this one out.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think it's gonna be my favorite part about this game is watching what the middle linebackers from each team are going to be able to do because they're both
two of the best young linebackers in the league.
Yeah,
Darius Leonard, Eric Kendricks, Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Some of the best young linebackers, and Devin White, just so good. Yeah. Deion Jones, people always forget about him, but there's so many good young linebackers. But Warner and Kendricks do so much more than a lot of these guys do. Harrison Smith is also, and Barr from the middle. It's just it'll be interesting. If I were to make a bold prediction for the Niners side, so Kirk hasn't thrown a lot of picks this year.
He's only thrown 2.
Yeah. 2. I would assume this is where he gets his 3rd. If I were to try to guess which player gets the interception, I'm going to go with a tipped ball TJ Watt intercept. Or not TJ Watt.
TJ Watt? Wow.
He caught it from Pittsburgh. Sorry, Nick Bosa.
Okay.
If he's there.
I'm going to go with not one of our big 3 receiving threats. So I'm looking for I'm looking for like a KJ Osborne. Because I think I include Conk as kind of like our 3rd guy now.
I was going to say KJ. That is one of our big 3 receivers.
So KJ, DD Westbrook, maybe even like Alexander Madison
or Kene Nwang.
Yeah. Not one of our big guys. I'm gonna go with Madison for some reason. Alexander Madison touchdown.
Receiving?
That's what I'm going with. I don't know. Just a touchdown.
The way you were saying that made it seem like
but the name popped up, so I'm just gonna kind of hit both my bases here.
My Vikings bold prediction would be trying to think. Mackenzie Alexander sack.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. You don't want. It's not a bold prediction unless
it's weird. Yeah, it's bold unless it's bold.
Because the other day I was like, "Oh, Kelsey touchdown."
Also, Xavier Woods can't play any worse than he played last game. So
no, and he was doing well up till then.
Yeah, he had a fantastic game against the Cowboys, but then he just played bad.
His whole team.
Yeah. So
nice.
Cool.
So let's move on to the next matchup. So we both picked Vikings. Next matchup is Buccaneers Colts. So the reason I want to talk about this is because I think the Colts are a
MVP front runner.
They're just an insane matchup. So the Buccaneers are 3-point favorites in Indianapolis. Yes, you get it. And I don't know. It's one of those, we just talked about it with the Niners Vikings, where their best is where their worst. I think the Buccaneers struggle more. Like when you watch the games, I think when they win, it seems to be pretty handily, but when they lose, it's like embarrassingly bad.
Yeah.
They just don't look good in any. Oh, their defense looks terrible. Their offensive line looks bad. Their running game looks terrible. Tom Brady looks like he's washed. Like they look like they crumble. And I think the Colts, especially in Indiana, they all. Their way their defense plays, that's the strength of their team. Carson Wentz has been doing a lot better as well. Jonathan Taylor is
J-Train,
probably the best running back in the AFC right now, and with Derrick Henry hurt. I think the Colts can pull an upset.
Yeah. I mean, if Washington can do it, the Bucks or the Colts can do it.
Washington, they're so feisty. They're so feisty.
Feisty.
I just think the Colts are similar. The Colts it's almost like every player plays beyond their potential every year. Every year I don't expect the Colts to do much, and they're way better than I expect. And it's like,
True.
I loved Quentin Nelson. I thought Quentin Nelson was like a top lineman. Instantly, I was like, somebody needs to draft
You were
him.
pulling for the Madden cover, Quentin Nelson.
I love Darius Leonard. I like Rocky Sin a lot. Like, they have so many guys that I like, but then the guys that I don't really know, I'm like, I don't know if he's that good. And then they play and they're just insane. I think the Colts are just, I don't know if it's coaching, general management, what it is, but they all seem to play so much better than what I would expect. And so I think Colts pull an upset this week.
Right.
I think the MVP shows who he is.
J-Train.
I think I think that's flavor of the month. Jonathan Taylor MVP talk's gonna die down, and it'll stick with Tom Brady. But I think the real MVP beats the fake MVP this week.
All right. Let's see, it's Bucks by 3.
Mm-hmm. In Indianapolis, Bucks by 3. Bucks are kind of on a tear. 7-3 versus 6-5.
I think this is. I'm gonna go with Bucks. I think this is where Jonathan Taylor kind of comes back down to earth. I'm gonna say he doesn't eclipse 100 yards and he doesn't get a touchdown. That's my bold prediction.
While I wouldn't be surprised because Buccaneers defense it's just so good. I don't know. Colts play their best when I think they're gonna lose, and I think they're gonna lose, which is why they're gonna win.
All right. All right. So we both pick Vikes. We'll split the Bucks Colts.
Yep. Next, Titans Patriots. I think Patriots.
I've learned to not bet against Mac Jones.
Yep.
This is not a betting podcast.
Not a betting podcast. None of this is betting advice.
But whenever I'm like, oh yeah, the Mac
my
Jones
thing
won't
is like,
win.
if I was betting, I would take Titans points, but I would pick Patriots to win because the Patriots are 7-point favorites.
It's in
New England.
Foxborough.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
in Foxborough.
Yeah.
I do think the Patriots win though.
I'm gonna go with Patriots too.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at and we don't like to use PFF, but PFF top. We've hit the number 2 PFF quarterback in game 1. Kirk Cousins. We have hit the number 1 in game number 2, and we're going to get number 4 with Mac Jones.
And McCorkle, man.
Yeah, and
Uncork McCork, man. Uncork McCork. I don't think it's going to be another 5-touchdown game, but I definitely think it's going to be a handled win. Mike Vrabel does tend to play pretty well against Patriots, but I don't know. I'm feeling something like 33-31.
Yeah,
Patriots.
I'd say Patriots by 7 might be a stretch. I'd say Patriots by a field goal.
Yeah.
We'll go Pats.
But both of us pick Patriots. And our last game we want to cover is the Rams-Packers. So my heart says I want the Rams to win. They are 1-point favorites in Green Bay. But my head says Packers pull it out. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to lose another game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think the Rams are going to lose another one. They just lost. I think they're both mad. I think they're both going to be. It could go either way.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then you got to pick the home team, right?
Or do you take the best wide receiver in the league?
Devontae Adams? Oh, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
split. Let's split.
You pick Rams, I pick Packers?
I'll pick Rams. Yeah.
I don't like picking the Packers, but I'm going to pick the Packers.
Yep.
And just like every week, that'll be all that we need to talk about the Packers. We have to bring them up because it's a big game. But, I don't want to talk about them too much because clean language.
Yeah.
The last thing we're going to do before we send you off is we had a request to do our Pro Bowl selections. We're going to do the NFC and AFC offenses, and then next week we can do defense. We're starting with NFC. We're only going to be doing starters, no backups, 2 wide receivers, but that's because 1 on each side. Quarterback for the NFC was Tom Brady. We were going to do Kirk Cousins, but Tom Brady's the number 1 quarterback right now, number 1 in MVP discussion. So you have to take Tom Brady, and he's the name. Running back, however, we will go Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook, currently the number 1 rated running back in the NFC. When you go
He
through
missed games, and he missed 2 games.
right, and when you go through the other running backs in the NFC, the ones that have missed games haven't played as well when they're there as Dalvin.
Yeah, it's like if I look it up here, it was like Dalvin and then Zeke and then like nobody else.
A lot of the top running backs, in my opinion, are in the AFC. You got Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. Like a lot of them. Like Alvin Kamara hasn't been doing great because he's been
hurt.
Yeah, he's been hurt. CMC was hurt. The next highest was Zeke, and it wasn't really that close. And last game, Zeke had 8 carries. So you get.
I mean, look at like AFC. You got Jonathan Taylor, Henry, Chubb, Mark Ingram's in the NFC now.
That's what I'm saying.
Mixon, Najee Harris, Lamar Jackson. Still talking running backs.
Yep.
Damian Harris, Antonio Gibson's the next NFC. After
and James Robinson, even a smaller name, AFC. So Dalvin Cook's our running back. Wide receivers are the 2 best wide receivers in the NFC right now: Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel. Deebo. So again, this might not be based on stats or rankings. Like some of you might say Devontae Adams, you'd rather see him in the Pro Bowl. I would rather see Deebo. I think Deebo hasn't gotten the recognition. It's time he gets the recognition. Cooper Kupp has been playing too well to not.
Yeah, and they're gonna bring 6 wide receivers anyway to this Pro Bowl. Devontae's gonna be there anyway.
And this is our selections, not our predictions. Because if this was a prediction, I'd put Devontae Adams. My selection would be Deebo. Tight end, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I think he has the most yards out of any tight end in the NFC. So.
And he doesn't line up as a tight end, but he's listed as one, so tight end. Offensive line is where we had the most discussion just because there's so many to choose from. But left tackle, we went Trent Williams, who's currently the highest rated lineman at any position.
Yeah.
Ali Marpet for the Buccaneers is our left guard. I think part of that is just from name recognition, as well as he's also just every game he's so good.
Right.
Center, Frank Ragnow from the Detroit Lions.
We're giving the Lions somebody.
Not only is he rated highly, just because they don't have a win, he is still very good. If they want to give us Frank Ragnow, I would trade a 1st-round pick for Frank Ragnow. He's so good. We're taking Frank Ragnow. Right guard is probably the best right guard in the league at Zach Martin.
Yep.
And he's another future Hall of Famer. But right tackle is where some people might, Ryan Ramczyk, Elgin Jenkins, even though he's out. No, we are going with Brian O'Neill, the guy who's allowed less pressures than guys like Rashawn Slater and Tyron Smith. He's had less pressures than those guys.
Yeah.
So people are probably sick of us talking about Brian O'Neill, but we're picking Brian O'Neill.
We're huge Brian O'Neill fans here.
Oh, yeah. So he doesn't have the best grade out of all these guys, but when it comes to total statistics, he's just so good.
He's
so
allowed
good.
like 4 sacks in 4 years. So
right.
I mean,
he's allowed the same amount of pressures as Quentin Nelson, and everybody talks about how good Quentin is.
Sure.
AFC quarterback Patrick Mahomes. If I were not to take Patrick Mahomes, I'd probably go
Lamar.
Right, like probably
Mac Jones.
I honestly, my second
Mike
choice
White.
might be I would probably go Pat Mahomes, Mike White, and then Mac Jones.
Okay.
And then honestly, I'd consider Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like I get like Josh Allen's been really good. Josh Allen is second best odds.
It's gonna be Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen. It's gonna be those guys.
But I think Pat Mahomes, especially with name. Running back, obviously Jonathan Taylor. With Derrick Henry out, Jonathan Taylor's like clear top running back in the league right now. There are so many good AFC running backs though. Whoever you said, if you said Mixon, Robinson, Henry, but he was there, Chubb, even Kareem Hunt when he's not hurt. Like AFC has so many good running backs. But yeah, I would go Jonathan Taylor right now. Our wide receivers are going to be Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase. And then tight end, Travis Kelce. Best tight end in the league.
It's a no-brainer there.
Yep. And then our linemen. Best rookie lineman by far, by a mile. Like Penei Sewell's good, but Rashawn Slater is just clear 10-year left tackle for the Chargers.
Darisaw's doing well too, but Slater's got, the first 5 games of the season.
Oh, yeah.
So
left guard, Quentin Nelson, another, in my opinion, no-brainer. Center, we had some discussion, but we went with Corey Linsley over, I believe it was Jason.
Chiefs.
Chiefs guy, because he split some plays. So Corey Linsley, and then right guard, we went Wyatt Teller. because we wanted to, make sure people get recognition. Again, these are our picks, who we want. So we picked.
We got to get a
Teller.
Browns player.
We like the Browns
we
a lot.
We love the Browns. So.
If Nick Chubb's not getting in there, then we got to put. Maybe we'll get some Browns on defense, but yeah, Wyatt Teller. And then right tackle was probably my favorite selection we made, David Quessenberry.
Yeah.
I think he's so good, super underrated, and from the Titans. And that is our full Pro Bowl lineup. I'll make sure.
In regards to
put
defense, we'll get a Brown in there. I can think of one Brown definitely will get in there. So
defensive end, maybe.
Possibly. Possibly.
But yeah, there's our Pro Bowl lineup. So one of our subscribers, his name is Mike, asked for that. Thank you for the suggestion. If anybody else has any suggestions, we would love to make some segments for people. So that one's for you, Mike, and anybody else watching. Those are our Pro Bowl selections that we would pick for offense as of right now after week 12. Let us know what you think in the comments or on Twitter. We are very active on Twitter. I'm almost always accessible via Twitter. So if you ever wanted to have a discussion, reach out, or have a comment on a video that you watched, reach out on Twitter. Almost half of our viewers come to us through Twitter. So I know that people are watching that are on Twitter. So make sure just DMs are open. I've had some conversations with a Browns fan on DMs already, and I had conversations with a Colts fan the other day. So feel free to reach out. I have fun talking to you guys.
I dropped some tweets, and before they're even posted, you already liked and replied to it. So,
dude, I'm constantly on Twitter. I'm always taking care of my daughter, so I just have it's baby phone. Baby phone. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us because we're always there. We're tweeting. And I just want to interact because the most fun thing about doing this, and the whole reason why I wanted to do a podcast, YouTube channel, any of that, community, talking, interaction. Not because, I need friends, but because, I need friends.
You do need friends. Yeah. We both do.
Oh, man. Goodness. But yeah, so please reach out. If you have any other suggestions like Mike did, let us know. And let us know what you think of our selections, please, because I know that there are some people that might have disagreements.
Put us on blast for Brian O'Neill.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially for Brian O'Neill. Or maybe for putting Brady lovers.
Yeah, Brady over Kirk. That's a
pretty hard decision there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's it. Do you have any other sports topics? Because I think that's all we got.
I saw one quick stat. Kaprizov has like 21 points in 20 games, so he's averaging either a goal or assist every game. One thing we vie for every time. Minnesota Twins, please pay Byron Buxton.
Twins, extend Buxton, not for a trade, please.
Yeah. So.
Other than that, that's all we got for you for our sports section. If you do like Marvel entertainment, feel free to check out our second section of our podcast. That is our more popular section, so you are more welcome. Other than that, please go out in the world, make a difference in whatever way you can. Make sure to say hello, what's up to anybody else in the world you don't know who needs the help. We appreciate your love and support of this channel, and we will always be here whether you want us to be or not. We will see you next time. Make a difference. GG.
GG.